John Deere said, "What's up, everybody?" Bluetooth said, "Hi, hello." Carlos said, "What's up? What's up, y'all? Pops, Jacob, hello." Hope everybody doing well today. In this, not Carlo. I know you're not in the snow, but I guess the rest of us are. We ain't seen this much snow in a pretty good while. How's everybody doing though? Other than me sitting there watching it snow. Five people, five thumbs up. That's what I like to see. Might go fix me another cup of coffee. John Deere said, "I got 8 inches of snow." We probably got every bit of that, and it's still snowing like crazy. There's no telling what we're going to end up with. I think Randy said in the drifts at his house he's got 12, so I know you can lose your boots in it if you're not careful. I walk the dog. Now, Kane's never seen snow that I know of, and he really cuts a shine. I can't unhook him because he goes out there and tries to eat it. It's funny. Off topic said broccoli shit gang. Is that broccoli? I guess it is. 2 broccolis, 2 shits, and a gang. Hello. Oh, what we got here? Yeah, we don't do politics in here, so what we got here, bro? Anyway, I'm gonna say 95. You welcome in here. We don't do politics or religion, so you're good here. Madison said hi, and Daryl said hey all, hello. 95 said oh thank God. Daryl said rolling 6, but I'm here. Hell, I'm about ready for one myself if it warmed my feet up. Carlos said, "Hey, Madison." Off topic said, "Everyone like, subscribe, and join memberships and donate and high five and eat lots of broccoli." Yeah, except the broccoli. Y'all can have all you want. John Deere said, "What's up, everybody?" Madison said, "Hey, Carlo." John said, "Hi." I feel like this is gonna be a busy one tonight with all the snow. Everybody should be in and watching stuff. 95 said, "What's the topic for today?" Well, probably going to be the snow. The way it works here, if you've never been here before, we pretty much come in and start talking, and we'll talk about anything except religion, politics, and controversial subjects. We don't do that. Off topic says Taco Tuesday on Saturday. I tell you what, I thought about getting on the 4-wheeler, going up and see if there's anything open. I was going to get me something to eat. I just went and got me a frozen dinner and cooked it. I started to get a headache. 95, some my kind of channel. Well, you are welcome here, that's for sure. A lot of great people come in here every single day from 6 to 8. Might have said, "What snow?" We didn't get any snow. I think somebody's lying. I saw Randy throw snow in baby girl's face. I know y'all got it. John Deere said, "Hit the like button, guys, please." Off topic said, "Oh, wait, it's Saturday." 95 said, "I'll sub to that. Thank you very much." And he said, Roman Resigns won the Royal Rumble. Okay, awesome. If that's what you wanted, I have no idea what it is, but if that's what you wanted, I'm happy for you. Matthew Stump said, "Matthew, hell yeah." Jane said, "Honey, I'm home." Payroll says, "Hey, hi, Stone Cold Steve Austin. How are you? I'm from Italy." Welcome from Italy. I got to get the pen put in for Italy. Somebody came in yesterday from Italy. I got it wrote down right here. I'll put one in for you too. Thank you. Snowman Yankee said, did you take a dump earlier? I sure did. Hell, we all got a shit at some time, don't we? Off topic said, Whiskey Wednesday. Carlos said, hi, Jane. Off topic said, cigarette Saturday. Who? Matthew said, Matthew. Okay. Madison said, actually, he kicked it in her face. Well, I thought, but I just used the word throw. I didn't see the foot, but I figured that's what he done. Figured he was too lazy to bend over. Boggy said, yo. Jane said, hi, Carlo. Hi, Madison. Hi, off topic. Matthew said, sex hot. Okay. Jane said, welcome, Italy. Carlos said, sup, Daryl. Madison said, hey, Jane. Jane said, hi, Boggy. Boggy said, hey, Jane. Carlos said, Italy. 95 says, are you a married man? I am. Annie says, are you doing a breakfast stream tomorrow? If I do, I'll probably be doing it by myself. I don't know. All I've got is bacon and egg, but I would like to do it. But more likely, I'm going to be by myself. I don't see Randy getting out in this mess just to come to the shop. But I would like to. I was wanting to do it today, get out on the four-wheeler, but it's snowing too much for me to get out there in this mess. If it stopped, I was going to do it. Figure out a way to put it on the four-wheeler and ride y'all around. Payer you says, Jane. Matthew said, calling the hell, I said. Okay. Jane said, hi, Annie. Daniel said, happy Saturday, everyone. Hey, everyone. Yes. 95 said, I'm so sorry. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, it's fine, man. It's all good. Jane said, hi, Daniel. Peggy Rose said, big boys. Matthew said, Nicole. And hell outside today is far from hell unless it froze over. Because it's definitely damn still snowing like crazy. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't seen this kind of. We get this thing going, I'll take y'all a walk outside. What y'all think? Let's see. Matt said these people in this house are eating all the groceries in one day. Yeah, I bet so. Best way to fix it, don't have any groceries. They can't eat it all. Boggy said, I'm too old for this weather. Me too, Boggy. John Deere said, hell froze over today, everybody. Yes, exactly. Matthew said, it's cold outside. Well, it's cold out today. You were exactly right. I said outside. Jane said, Pops, you see my crazy granddaughter's softball team did a polar plunge at Lake Michigan. They crazy. I did see that picture. Carlos says, I'm an Australian Italian Pedro, but don't speak fluent Italian. We got Lobo says, what's the bald-headed talking about? Whatever you want to talk about, except religion and politics. Hanging with Christopher says, hi from Florida. You're cold. It's down here. Yeah, I believe Ohio, they decided to share it. I wish they'd take it back. Daryl said, Boggy, check your Facebook. 95 said, serious question, and I'm not being did you get cold fast since you're bald? Yes, I do. I have to I got toboggans laying everywhere. I have to put something on my head or I get cold very fast. Rap 21 said he got the flag. Yep. Sean said, hello, do you interested in politics? No, we don't do it. You know that. You've been in here before. Boggy said, why, Mac? Pedro said, big boys. Mark said, what's up? Hello, March. 6 people, 15 thumbs up. Jane said, hi, Christopher. Boggy said, there anything interesting? Daryl said, I sent you something. He said, check it out. You'll see it. Jay said, Sean, you know we don't talk politics. Bria says, we're watching a live about the roof. Why are you looking at the top of the screen? Everything below the screen. I'd rather see the roof than if I aim it down, there ain't nothing in here but me and the dog. Maria said, nice roof then. Well, thank you. I think I'm going to put something up there, maybe a banner or something. Matter said, if it keeps going, King might disappear when he steps. Hey, he looked funny out there. I don't think he's ever seen it. He was trying to grab it and run. He would scoop up and run like crazy. About to snatch the rope out of my hand. Jane said, hi, Maria. John Deere said, where is Joe? I don't know. Hornby said, I just put my dog to sleep. Uh-oh, that's not good. The dirt that this guy belongs in a mental institution. How do you know I'm not there? This is just my room, my rubber room. Daryl said, haha, nice. Maria said, because you're small down here, I can't look at you. What? Do you not see the whole picture? Hanging with Christopher said, what state are you in? North Carolina, the white state today. John said hi. Off topic said funky Fridays with silly Sundays. Well, I guess snowy Saturdays then. Rich said you're hiding behind the comments. How am I hiding behind the comments? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean on your phone you can't see me because of that? Well, I can adjust it, but you know what's going to happen, and I think that's what you want. Let's see. Maria said, hiding man. There you go. Let's see. Jane said I'd have to show a lot for Kane to disappear. Yes. Well, I'm going to tell you something. It's doing it down good here. Matthew said, Red Rock Hill have had sex party. Beats me. I've never heard of Red Rock Hill. Hornby said it's German Shepherd. No, Great Dane. Hanging with Christopher said, okay, very cool. Tigger Spitty said it's Monday for me. Ooh. Carlos said, okay, Pedro. Maria's laughing. Yeah, I bet you are. So is everybody else. Off topic said Thunder Thursday. Hornby says, and no, I don't mean dead. I mean sleep like me. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's good then. He won't be barking. Maria said, nice. We can see you now. Well, you're the only one that was complaining about it, so I guess everybody else could see it. Dr. Balls 1968 said, hi, Pops. Hello. Sean said, why are Chinese cars cheaper than American and Japanese cars? I guess because they are quantity and we don't charge them enough tariffs, I guess. But I have no idea. Maria says, I can't talk with someone without seeing them. Well, I didn't think everybody else was having a problem, but I'll try to fix it. Thank you for telling me I'm stupid. I'm small. Jane said, Tiggus, I picked you up a chicken sandwich yesterday, but you were gone. Off top it said, freaking pervs. Well, thank you. Dr. Ball said, where is your handsome son hiding? I want to see him. He is actually at home with wife and kids. He's probably lurking. His wife's in here, but he'll wait till somebody says something he don't like, and then he'll pop in. Pape said, what up, boss man? Hello, Pape. Pay says, big boys are 0009 a.m. 999, I guess we'd say. Ticket Spitty says, oh man, thank you, Jane. Just give it to the Bigfoot. Hanging with Christopher said, random joining your group. Gen X old like me. I kind of like, what kind of projects? We got everything going on right here. Cars, trucks, we're doing all kinds of projects, building we ain't even finished the bathroom, redoing the office here. We just did the office, that one wall. I got to do the rest of them in the ceiling. We got a lot going on here. Off topic said to Thanksgiving to I'm in finished to obviously okay. Jane said hi Pape. Carlos said okay Peru. Hanging with Christmas said I like Eastern Seaboard states. Maria's mad. Oh good gosh. Imagine that. Mike says hello Randy. Hello Mike. Hornby says they're cheaper because they're for drifting. Okay. Mattis said, hey, Mike. Sean said, Chinese cars is comfortable than American and Japanese. Jane said, hi, Mike. Off topic said, why is the world pervert funny? I don't know. Maria said, you're going to throw some words around and surprise. How can problems be? You're going to throw, oh shit, I'm going to have to try to figure out what you're trying to say. You're going to throw some words around and surprise. How can problems happen? Okay. I apologize. Sorry. Mike said hi, Jane. Pay says, big are in the U.S. or Australia. Big is in Australia. Mike said hi, Madison. Jay said pops. We'll push some R3 buttons to hop in. He'll hop in. Yeah. Mike said Carlo hanging with Christopher said most excellent. I hit subscribe and I'll check all y'all out. Thank you. Luz says yo talk with what in God's name am I that crazy tonight? Mike said hi Maria. Matthew said let's party all night. Hell yeah, let's party. Carlos says April 7:12 in Patriot Western Australia Sunday morning. Madison said, don't let him fool you. He's listening. Oh, I know he's listening. He's just lurking back there. Mike said, have you been outside making snow angels? No. Papa said, Lord, Maria is happy seeing never complains. She never complains. Maria is happy. She never complains. Papa, you been in here lately? Jane said, big boys in Australia. Maria said, what's the helmet behind? That was for the four-wheeler. I was going to put the camera on it and go live today riding around, but it was too dang crazy with all the snow. Hornby said Chinese cars are generally cheaper than UK counterparts due to lower manufacturer labor costs, significant government subsides, and extensive in-house supply chain, partially for EV batteries. Hanging with Christmas said, hi, Jane. Justin said, you keeping warm, Mr. Bald Man? I'm trying my best. Off topic said, how in the world am I supposed to quit nicotine? It's going to be hard in this mess. Jane said, hey, Justin. Paige says, big, okay. See, Carlos said, what's up, Mike? Hanging with Christopher said, love the Aussie. We're similar land. Maria said, yeah, because apparently Maria is always mad. First sign of getting help is admitting you got a problem. Sean said, I want to get Chinese car. Jane said, Lord, Maria is always mad. No. Hug Royal Cousin channel. Jesus is the light of the world, and we don't know people on earth. Hornby said, if you were my dad, I'd like that. Oh, cool, thank you. Carlos said, Pedro, Randy, I7N1 says, hello from Oklahoma, America. Let's see. James says, I wish to party with you. Hanging with Christmas said, it's not heart attack snow, right? Well, it's fluffy. You could probably blow it around with a snow blower. Maria said snow is better. John Deere said you can show us how deep your snow is. Let me get caught up. I'll walk out there and show you. Papa said, no, I couldn't last night. Maria said, I'm a very nice person. It's who you pushing me. It's you who pushing me. I'm not pushing you. Off topic said, biologics are giving me diarrhea, stress, and I can't have it in me. Well, stop. Matthew said, hell yeah. Mr. Balls, hell yeah. Daryl said, no premiere tonight, but tomorrow is 45 minutes long. Maria said, Maria's mean to me. I didn't do anything to her. Yeah, you're exactly right. Sean said, what is your cell phone? It's not hard to figure out my cell phone. Well, for the shop anyway. James said 74 in Tulsa right now. I'll take it. Joe said, screw ice. Yeah, I don't like this snow and ice. Maria said, I'm bald sensitive man. Carlos said, Matthew said tonight it's going to get to 25 degrees in Florida. Hanging with Christopher says, hey, Matthew, hi from, I guess it's Florida. Daryl said, no politics, religion, or relational chat. James said, James, hanging with Christopher said, Crystal River, sorry. Off topic said, Father Christmas. Elite Bloodline said, greetings from England. Well, hello from England. Off topic said, Jimmy Johns is the farthest fart in my car, and the fam guy. Okay. The real Don said, 50 degrees and sunny. Jane said, welcome England. Paige says, big. Okay. Hanging with Christopher says, oh, elite. John Deere said, yeah, we got 8 inches of snow. I hate snow. Elite Bloodline said, thank you, Jane. AZ said, can you say, nope. Off topic said, taco, or I don't know if that's a peach or an onion. Elite said, hi, Chris. Off topic said, ice is icy cider and can have it in. James said, we pronounce it Tisan. Okay. Off topic said, oops, typo. Sincerely said, taco. Off topic said, no, well, wait a minute. We're not doing it. Let me try something else. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, off topic said I didn't understand. I guess that's what I'm doing wrong. I didn't have it translated. Sorry. Carlos said very cold. Matthew said Trump 2028. Peter said big boys. I'm from northern Italy. Matthew Owens said Jimmy Johns can deliver you a sandwich in under a minute. Off topic said bingo bounce game, but I suppose I could get it too. Maria says I ate many tomatoes today. Hanging with Christopher said fire them all, re-elect no one. Any coastal vets here? Maria said I always make tomatoes and eggs for breakfast. Jane said metal ice cream. Carlos said a brave. Let's speak English, please. John Deere said, what's up, Maria? Doing good. Matthew Stump said, ice is ass pig, ice is ass. Okay. Off topic said, I don't speak all man. Damn it. Maria said, no, I'm not good. I'm sorry, you're not good. John Deere said, what's wrong, Maria? Off topic says, how are you? Matthew said, Matthew, make ice. Pedro said, big boys city. Maria said, it's college, stupid exams. Just think, everyone you take, this one behind you. Hanging with Christmas, said Coast Guard vet. Daryl said, BRB. Hanging with Christmas says, why? Just kidding. Jane said, Metal Arts is a vet. He's translating wrong. Matthew said, Maria said, sometimes I envy fish. They don't have to go to college. Well, they got to go to school. They still got to go to school. They do fish school. Carlos said, my dad is from Rio, I guess it is. I don't know. Maria said, I wish I was a fish. Hanging with Christopher says, I got to get going. Peace, folks. See you hanging with Christopher. I appreciate you coming in. Maria says, showing fish. Off topic said, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. I don't speak English. Good. Jane said, bye, Christopher. Carlos said, from Village. Matthew said, sleeping with the fishes. Off topic says, ping pong punt. I can have, oops, typo. This time I'll be bulletproof. Maria said, why they have to go to school? They're going to be eating anyway. I don't know. It's just they go to school. Astroponology, I guess. Greetings, Earthlings. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well, staying warm. Jane said, hi, Astro. Matthew Stump said, let's have a party. Hell yeah, let's party. Pedro said, big boys, I don't. Nice location. Sorry for English is bad. Off topic says, we're not from Earth. This damn chair's about to aggravate the shit out of me. Matthew said, there are people in concrete shoes under the Empire State Building. I heard that. Maria said, so you went to a fish school before? Yeah, that's how I catch them. When they go to school like that, I scoop them right up. Jane said, your English is okay, Pedro. However you want to say it. Pedro. Off topic said, nothing comes from anything space-time. Maria says, I'm not from Earth. Off topic says, anything in space. Let's, I won't stay out too long because I ain't going to put my coat on. But let's do this right here. Since it is real bright for the snow, y'all look at that. Now y'all look at the front of that truck, how much that's blowed up in there. Look at it. Woo! There's some snow on that thing. Look at there. And it's still coming now. Look at that snow in the... There's no telling what we're going to end up with. Let me lay it right here. I'll fix it in just a minute. Whew. Oh, hush. I hope I get the angle of the camera right. Some people don't like it. Oh, let's see what we got here. There's aha, never done. Matthew said, I'm from Uranus. Jane said, I have a friend in Southern California. Took his plane up today and saw a whale. Cool. Carlos said, no problem. Off topic said, we call from a different dimension. That's what birth is. Pike says, why are we chatting, acting stupid? I don't know. Off Tipper says, what's the temperature in Celsius? I have no idea. Maria said, you don't feel cold? Man, I'm freezing. Yeah, my feet's a little cold. I got them under the heater, but I think John Deere wanted to see the snow, so I thought I'd take it out there and show it to him. I thought you would enjoy the snow too. Let's see. Bayer said, translate what? And Annie says, all that cold and snow will make you very hungry. Yep. Matthew Owens says, oh, glory out there blowing away. Yep. Mira said, it is difficult to hide the dead bodies with the snow. Yes. Off topic says, angles off. Yeah, let me catch up. I'm sure I'll figure it out in a minute. John Deere says, I got 8 inches of snow. I think I got the worst than you did, Randy. You win. John Deere says, I'll call the National Guard because I think you guys are going to snowbound for weeks. It wouldn't surprise me. So it's lucky it don't shut the world down like this. Boggy says, Maria, I'm from the north and I live in the west for a long time. There is no such thing as too cold or too hot. That's from Arizona and Antarctica. Mike's smiling. Jane said, Jacob, look like Pops is getting his share. Jane said, hi, Boggy. It's no competition for me, Jane. He can win. I don't care if he's got 106 inches. He can have all he wants. I don't care. Carlos says, my papa is from Transfeder near Sandro, close to the Swiss border. Off topic, say, how cold is it over there? What's the temperature? I'll be honest with you, I don't even know. Okay, Google, what's the temperature in Denton, North Carolina right now?
Currently in Denton, it's 18 degrees.
18 degrees in Denton. John Deere said, hey, they said Uranus, get it. Yeah, I called it. Boggy said, English, Pops. Hell, I'm trying. Mike said, it's Burr Celsius. Boggy said, hey, Jane. Maria said, yeah, I like seeing the snow. Matthew Stump said, let's have a party with you tonight. I'm having a house tonight. Okay. Off topic said, Boggy, toggle to the metal. Hurry. Boggy, toggle to the metal. Hurry. All right. Boggy said, what? Matthew Owen said, what's the platform under the flag for? You see the members wall right here? That's showing the road. The same people as here is out there. If you become a member, you get your name under that flag also at facing the road. Matthew said, nice house in the background. Maria said, I'm not really missing summer. I prefer dry freezing than melting. Off topic said, I know the secret of tacos. Matthew says, I live in Cedar Grove, West Virginia. Maria said, I turned into liquid this summer. Off topic said, Grove, West Virginia. Jane said, Matt, did you get snow? Mike said, it's 18 here also. Twisted said, it's 16 degrees here in central Illinois. Wow. It's cold everywhere. Buggy said, who is the kid who toggled to the metal? I have no idea. John Deere said, I don't like snow either or winter, rather to be summer. Me too. I love summer. Twisted said, hello, everyone. Hello, Twisted. Daryl on Mormac says, okay, I'm back for a bit. Carlos said, sorry, Peter, not 100% sure. Mike says, hi, Dennis. Jordan, Peter said, big, okay. What Google Maps? Twisted said, Mike. Mike said, Daryl. Toby said, Boggy to the mountain. Haven't you heard of this unto the chicken? Matthew Owen said, oh. Off topic said, oops, typo. Them typos is getting to me. Mike said, Daryl. Daryl said, Mike. Twisted said, Jane. Hugh said, hit the like button. Hello, Hugh. Hello said, pay. Hugh said, hello, Randy. Daryl said, Dennis. Hugh said, Daryl. Boggy, a kid. I have no clue what you're going to on about. Me neither. Jane said, Dennis. Daryl says, big. Hugh says, hello, Carlo. Matthew Owens says, West Virginia mountains, mama, country, roads, take me home. Hugh said, hello, Jane. Rhea says, show us what's on the deck behind you. Let me get caught up. It's just junk. John Deere said, what's up, Grand Pedo Vic? Hugh says, hello, Matthew. Jane says, Hugh says, hello, Maria. Off topic said, Boggy, haven't you heard need anything until they need? Carlos said, Hugh said, Twisted. Daryl said, Jacob. Hugh said, hello, off. Carlos said, Daryl. Hugh said, Boggy. Mickey said, hey, I just lost my friend, and he is not dead. Uh-oh. Matthew Stump said, play Taylor Girls on the Hill, overall going to hell, we're going to hell. No, I'm not playing it. Boggy said, what in the hell are you talking about? Daryl says, Randy, that helmet behind you, approved for rivals. That's what I was going to take, but that's not. I don't know if you'd have to ask Randy if it is a DOT motorcycle helmet, but I don't know. I would think it would be approved, but I have no idea. Mike said, Dennis, tell Fizzler to open his mouth. He is full of hot air that will make warm up there. Hugh said, I have so much snow I can see it on my deck. Yeah, it's real close to the front bumper of that truck out there. Hugh said, hello, John Deere. Boggy said, yo, Hugh. Hugh said, Mike. Off topic said, Twisted. And best channel on YouTube. Jane says, Mickey, where did your friend go? She said if she knew that, she wouldn't be lost. Mike said, hi, Hugh. Off topic said, antibiotics are CRWZ quiet card. Damn, what are we trying to say here tonight? I think somebody been drinking. Hugh said, hello, Mickey. Hugh said, are you solo at the shop? Just me and the dog. Hugh said, don't want the pipes freezing. Matthew said, it's cold, 36. Daryl said, I have a race helmet from when I ran ATVs. Off topic said, hello, Long Wrench, help Grand, help Jane. You said, big, okay, I see. I don't remember how much Randy bought us open face helmets. I don't remember how much he give for them. I don't think they were too bad, but we bought them at the last minute, so we might have paid more than we were supposed to for them, but we just had to do something. We just didn't want to get down there and be stuck. You said that keeps spitting us around. Splitting us around. Let's see. Boggy said, off topic, are you just saying random shit to confuse people? Because I'm getting confused at the point you're pissing me off. Mickey said, he did not want to be friends with me, and he was one of my best friends. Oh, that's not good. Mickey said, because I'm fat. Well, he ain't too good of a friend, then. You don't need him. Mike said, off topic. Jane said, Mickey, you don't need that toxic person in your life. That's exactly right, Jane. Maria said, it's 50 here. I'll take that over this stupid mess. Almost Average says, we're reading the Epstein doc released yesterday. I'm not. I think it's stupid to even talk about it. Carlos says, I have channel. David said, where's your son? He's at home with his wife and kids. Off topic says, Boggy says, you need help? Peter said, big, nice. Off topic said, Boggy is the coolest name I've ever heard. John Deere said, 9 here, man, it's cold. Lucy said, hi, SpongeBob. Hey, Sandy. Maria said, what about the Randy files? We ain't worked on them in a while. We ain't got the building cleaned out good enough yet. Lucy said, I just did homework. Almost Average said, then you support Child X and will be purged from the revolution. Okay, whatever you say, buddy. Carlos said, thanks. Jane said, Maddie, did you take the girls out? Brenda says, you are going to release them after I die. Jane said, hi, Dorothy, Lucy. There you go. I forgot about that. You're right, Jane. Boggy said, I don't have any more words. It's like talking to my sister. Actually, all 3 of them. Lucy said, hi, Jane. Off topic said, Boggy is very clever. Sorry, I just can't type. Haha, good vibes. Pay said, my brother have a Cairo RC? No? Question mark. D. Herman said, hey, short beard, how you doing, buddy? James said, Lucy, how was school dance? Maria said, well, let me tell you something. I might die before graduating if the exams continue to be this hard. Hey, Stop saying that. You got it. Just keep studying. Hugh said, hello, Herman. Off topic, so my phone was broken and I'm poor. Jane said, hey, D. Herman, you cuddled up with your honey? Lucy said, great. There was a guy there that I have never met before, but he goes to my church. I'm so happy. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. D. Herman said, I might camp out tonight. Awesome. That'd be cool right there. Boggy said, yeah, they're solidified my opinion as a fact. It's like talking to Olivia. You're not going to get anywhere. I agree. Mickey said, 0 here in Denmark. Jane said, Lucy, did you dance with him? Off topic said, how much y'all earn doing freight work? Maria says, as if I'm not studying. I didn't say you wouldn't. Teach me a word. How about respect, or chill out, or don't be so mean, or be nice, be happy? How many words you want? Don't be so hateful. It will all be okay. I didn't say you didn't study. I just said keep studying. That's all. Just try to do good. Do the best you can. Cola said, John Deere says, hi, Tennessee. Lucy said, no, because I met him closer to the end, but we talked, and I have his number, and I play poker with him. Granddad said, there is a big spider on your shoulder. Yeah, that's my pet. He's been here all his life. Jane said, Miko, 0 Celsius. It's 7 Celsius here, Pops. Where Pops is. Maria says, I'm mean, hateful. Off topic said, agree, love your neighbor. Yes, be nice. Don't be so hateful. Be happy. Just words. Boggy says, I'm glad you agree, Pops. It's like walking in circles. You all getting in steps, but absolutely nowhere. I know, right? It's like walking on a treadmill. You're doing a lot of walking, but you're getting nowhere. John Deere's laughing. Pay says, big. Wow. That word is good. Jane said, Lowell Buggy, you're ready to pull your hair out? Maria said, no, seriously, I'm being nice. Okay, thank you. Off topic said, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Lucy said, you made my day, SpongeBob. Well, good. I'm glad I can be of assistance. Off topic said, drink almond milk. No. Maria says, I didn't say anything mean from a very long time. Jane said, Maria, Pops is pushing your buttons. I'm going to say, hey, folks, watch this. You come in complaining right off the bat about the watching the ceiling, being a smart aleck. Shrek says, hi, hello, Shrek. Buggy said, Maria, I wouldn't say hateful, but I'd say fits you like a skin-tight t-shirt. Carlos said, yes, they are very good, Patty. Rest in peace. And Shrek said, I feel better. Good. I'm glad you feel better. I had a stressful day yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm glad it's over. Off topic said, drink regular cow's milk. That's right. Drink regular cow's milk. D. Herman says, I put a mannequin outside dressed like me during the storm, smeared with bird seed and peanut butter, and the birds are all over it. Tomorrow I'm wearing the same clothes, smearing bird seed on me. Oh my God. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Looky here. Somebody brought him out of hibernation. Randy said, I would just like to let everyone know that the snow is bullshit. Maria said he's doing that, and after a few days, say she's the one who states problems. You're the one that come in here bitching about the ceiling. I don't want to hear that crap. Boggy said, Jane, if it didn't grow back like a weed, I'd be bolder than Pops. Off topic said, veggie burgers are for girls. Soy milk is for weak. Maria said, snow is good. I wished you had it and we didn't. Jane said, hey, she's wanting to complain about watching ceiling. It was tilted up, so you were hiding behind discussions. Yes. I get tired of my fat ass belly being in the damn picture. And then stupid ass people coming on there saying stuff about how me being pregnant and stuff. I don't like my fat belly being showing. Grandma said, hi, Pops. Hi, Maria. Randy says, can't spell snow without no. Maria said, okay. Carlos said, I have some that are modified by Gimar. Grandma, hello, Grandma said, hi, Jane. Hi, Big Boy Toys. D. Herman said, I live streamed the birds. There you go. That'd be cool. Daryl says, or now, R3. Maria said, bye. Oh, don't leave, Maria. Grandma said, hi, Randy. Randy said, hello, Daryl. Reaper said, meow. Hello, Reaper. Carlos said, hello, Grandma. Jane said, Herman, video, please. I will watch. Off topic said, ketchup is manly as mustard is good. Randy said, hey, Grandma. Grandma said, hi, Herman. Off topic says, Billy is... Boggy said, Pops is pregnant. How the hell does that work? I don't know. Daryl says, Grandma. D. Herman says, 6 inches total frozen stuff in Casual County is still snowing. Grandma said, hi, Reaper. Boggy said, something is not doing go. D. Herman said, hey, Grandma. Jane said, hello. Grandma said, and Annabelle. Boggy says, hey, man. Grandma says, hi, Boggy. Jane says, Reaper. Shrek says, you've been a good person. Yes. Carlos said, R3's up. Grandma said, hi, Shrek. Reaper said, I hate the snow. Me too, Reaper. Maria said, well, as long I'm annoying and complaining a lot, so mean and hateful, I should leave. Whatever you want to do, whatever. I won't even talk to you. Flo Key said, hey guys, how you doing this evening? Great, we hope. Going live in about 10 minutes. Awesome. Paige says, big, okay, but don't know them either. Off topic says, Buggy says, nobody said you're hateful. I just used the word and she automatically, it's kind of like, anyway, next. Jane said, Reaper, Tickets Biddies told me to feed the chicken sandwich to skinwalkers. John Deere said, hi, everybody. Let's all come in here and try to be happy and don't be unhappy. Let's say happy things. Off topic said, typo, I can't unfriend the phone. Grandma said, hi, Pay. D. Herman said, I love how the snow makes everything quiet. I do too. That is probably the best thing about snow. When it snows like this, everything is so quiet. I'm kind of looking forward to going to sleep tonight because it is going to be quiet and with the blanket of snow like that. I love it. And it really brightens it up. Carlos said, that's okay. Grandma said, hi, Jacob. Maria said, he said, stop being so hateful. You can rewatch it. Paige said, Grandma, yeah, please. Go ahead. Damn. Boggy says, we like you, Maria. Jane says, hi, in flock. Maria said some people don't. Like you said, we just pick on you as much as we pick on us. Peter says, Big. Grandma said, Maria, we love you. Like you said, those people are dweebs. Mert says, are you from Samoa? No. Like you says, happy, good vibes. I gotta quit weed and tobacco and caffeine. Boggy says, I don't like people indulging cause my cars are my life. I don't like people in general because my cars are my life. Jane said, I said snow. How beautiful. Now go away. Yes, please. Grandma says, hi, gang, gang. Carlos said, my father was in the Alpine Army. D. Herman said, my mom would make snow cream with snow cream and vanilla. Yeah, we used to make it. I didn't even think about going to get the stuff to do it, or I would make some. I'd love to have some of that. That'd be awesome. Especially this would be a good snow to do it. Jane said, Pops may not be quiet with wind, Helen. You might be right. Mert says, you didn't ask that? And I said, no. Randy said, I think I updated members badges. Grandma said, cool, Randy. Mert says, proper American right here. Cereals, sodas, and that's right. I don't know what XANAX is, but you're exactly right. You said, does he look like he has a... I don't know what that is, but okay. Grandma's showing the pictures. Hughes said, hey, hello, Scoots. Carlos showing the pictures. Mattis said, what that mean, Rando? Randy said, hey, Hugh, and I think Carlos said, hey. Mattis said, oh, never mind, I see. Hugh showing them. Grandma says, hi, Madison and Angels. Daryl said, we had flurries today with no new snow on the ground. With no new, Hugh said, hello, Madison. Grandma said, hi, Mike. Randy says, maybe one day I'll be pics of vehicles. Pay says, Big Archie, my father, Alpine Army. Madison says, I wanted my purple or pink star when I go there. Daryl says, Grandma, Dearman said, snow cream didn't keep well. It just froze up, but it was still good. Carlos said, yep. I said, Sup R3. Hugh said, I see essence of snow on my deck. Randy said, too bad, Madison. Boggy says, I like family like Pops and everyone here, but we hate those people. Why try to commit insurance fraud by just hitting my cars? But oh well, I agree, Boggy. Randy said, thought I heard him read that, Carlo. Madison said, hey, Hugh and Grandma. Mert said, did you break out of prison? Once or twice. Daryl said, I made lemon snow cones today, free for the taking. I know what you mean. Flo Keys says, hey, Grandma. Carlos said, bravo. Hugh said, yeah, he broke out of Rickster's Island. Rickster's. Grandma said, hi, Angels. Hugh says, Flo Keys, hello. Carlos said, my father migrated to Australia in the 70s. Hugh said, don't eat yellow snow. Grandma said, Mert, stop asking dumb questions, please. Just have fun here with the YouTube family. Mert said, what's your favorite cereal? Probably Fruit Loops. But, you know, I've never thought about it until I watched Daryl on some of his stuff. But Daryl mixes some. So I would like to get me some Fruit Loops and mix Cocoa Puffs and Fruit Loops together. I think that would be good. I never thought about mixing cereal. The Swiss paper says, howdy, hello. Boggy says he's speaking of someone trying to commit insurance fraud and failed. Here is a ditch that has so much vegetation that it looks like a flat ground, and I had a Supra parked out in front of it, and you can. Bert says, I am a man. Okay. Whatever you say, I'll take your word for it. Page said, okay. I mean, big, okay. The Herman said, Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the win. Boggy said, guess what happened? They hit the ditch instead of the car. Randy says, I like warm snow. Yeah. You said Frosted Flakes and Cinnamon Toast Crunch is awesome. I ain't never thought of that either. Which I don't do much Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Now, if I'm going to eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I'll eat it without milk, just like I do chips. The Swiss paper said, how's the situation at your location? All good so far. It's just full of that white crap. Somebody needs to take it back home. You said, yeah, Randy, like golden showers of the snow. Ted Bundy said, rapist. Mert says, what do you think about Germany? Seemed like a pretty good place. I ain't never been there. A lot of good people around. Daryl said, Hershey's chocolate on top and you'll win the Taste Bud Champion. I am going to have to try that. Boggy said, the guy, Angel himself, to hit the car and fell into the ditch. Oh, Lord. Jane said, Herman, Cinnamon Toast Crunch this afternoon. Now I'm in a sugar coma. Shoot, if I knew the store was open, I'd run up to the store just to get me some. Well, they're probably out of it. But anyway, Carlos said, because I'm your lady and you're my man. The Herman said, yes, for Frosted Flakes, extra milk for wash down. The Swiss says we aren't got any snow for 2 weeks. Lord have mercy. I wish you'd have this. You can have this back. You said yes, Chang, but it's awesome. Swiss Paper said, award. Oh, you said, Daryl, I thought you don't like Hershey's. 17 people, 31 thumbs up. Ooh, thank y'all. Daryl said, oh, if it's chocolate, I like it. Haha, unless it's that fake white stuff. Boggy said, I watched it go down to Pops. It was the funniest thing that happened today. Cool. Carlos said, be right back. Got to go make some coffee. Mert said, you look like you own at least 3 grills. Pretty close. D. Herman said, Special K with strawberries is active too. Makes great after milk. Yep. Jane said Hershey's is fake chocolate. Boggy said, but the white stuff is very real. That's what she said. Hugh said, I've mixed Craves with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Your tongue will beat your brains out. Go get. I forgot to show what was on that table. Oh well. I'm sure she's done gone now. Let's see. The owner said, y'all making me eat cereal now. Here's Scallywags. Hugh says to it. Boggy says, speaking of white stuff, it's everywhere today. That's also what she said. Swiss Paper said, Daryl, exactly my thoughts. White fake stuff. White chocolate is the best. Mert said, spill the elite barbecue advice. I don't know it. I don't do a lot of, if I do grilling, it's steak or something like that, but Randy does most of grilling. Hugh said, metal suggestions. Lol. Randy says, snow's what's outside. side. Lotus said, hello, 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 Lotus. Jane said, you haven't gotten any snow? Grandma said, hi, the Swiss. Jane said, hey, Lotus. Randy said, hey, Lotus. Lotus said, hello, Randy. Grandma said, hi, Lotus. Lotus said, hi there. Boggy said, yo, Lotus. Lotus said, hey, Jane. Daryl said, Fruity Pebbles and Reese's Crunch with Hershey's on top, 100%. Lotus said, what's up, Boggy? Daryl said, Lotus. Lotus said, what's up, Daryl? The Swiss paper says there is no white chocolate. Chocolate is brown. Okay. I still like white chocolate. I like it better than I do the regular chocolate. Lotus said, Supra. Mert said, sir, what's your stance on socks with sandals? Pretty stupid. If socks was made for sandals, they would put the slit in the toe. But, you know, to each his own, I guess. I'm not going to do it. Hugh said, it starts and stops. Jane, we are a lower area from what's around us. Storms typically open up and close on the other side of us. Boggy said, the white chocolate is a thing and it's real good. Yes, it is. Daryl said, Pug got dumped on. Yeah, he's not too far from here. I thought about making sure the four-wheeler was full of gas. I was going to send him a text and see what was on the cinema. I was going to ride the four-wheeler over there. He ain't too far from here. If my feet could stay warm, if I had my rubber boots, I could ride the four-wheeler from here to there. It wouldn't be that far. Hugh said it starts in, I read that. Lotus said, I said, what's up, Daryl? Not Supra, a dumb auto-translate. Grandma said, yes, it is, Boggy. Mert says, Ford or Chevy? I'll take Chevrolet or GMC. D. Herman said, a scoop of protein powder in plain cereal like Cheerios really jazzes it up. Oh, cool. I ain't never thought about that either. Boggy says, we know what's on Lotus's mind. To-A-B-T-S, a Supra. Payo says, never done, and big boys, I leave like and subscribe. Got to go to sleep. Good night to all. See you, Payo. Appreciate it. You have a good night. No. Sorry, the snow picked up so much it was blurring around over there like a cyclone or whatever, blizzard, and it set the alarm, the camera off. Let's see. Boggy says, but he ain't having mine. Boggy said, won'ts. Mert says, do you... The plane. Do you clap when the plane lands? Hell yeah, brother. Lotus said, I always wanted one, but it's okay. Daryl said, Tyler has been searching everywhere. She wants a 2014 and newer bug convertible. Boggy says, me too, Lotus. Robert said, what's up? This is Robert Hashburger. Hello, Robert. Grandma says, hi, Kane, and hi, Robert. Boggy said, oof, Daryl, tell me that is a lie. Carlos says, I'm back, y'all. D. Herman said, they said Mickey like life cereal, but he was only a kid, and I knew that ate the plain cereal. Grandma said, welcome back, big boys. Robert said, how are you? I'm doing well. Hope you are. Daryl said, no, Biggie. She wants me to paint it pearl pink. Robert said, nice work jacket. Thank you. Boggy said, not the pink again. Mert said, release the Epstein files. Robert said, nice helmet. Thank you. Daryl said, right. Buggy said, always. Carlos said, my puppy was in. Carlos said, thank you, Grandma. Buggy said, I've seen too much pink in my life. Hugh said, Jonathan's got 13 inches. Crazy. I would say we're not far from that. Daryl says, what is it with 22-year-old girls in pink? I have no idea. Buggy says, and I can't even sell the car. Robert says, what helmet you have? That's the old street bike helmet when we had a VFR 800. That's what we had when we bought it. Hugh said, I love pink. Can never be too much. Buggy says, the hell if I hope it's a face. Buggy says, and oh, I lied. The Skyline is a 32. Hinda's showing the flag from Ukraine. Hello. Alamo said, show Dingling. No. No. I know what you're trying to say. I'll show you the snow. Daniel said, India says hello, hello. Daryl says, gotta run, I'll be back. All right, Daryl, be safe, see you. Robert said, put your work jacket on now. Thomas said hi, hello Thomas. Lotus said, show the snow. Grandma said hi, Daryl, I'll show it to you, Lotus. I showed it a minute ago, but I'll show it again. Now look at how that's snowing right there like that. Wind blowing like crazy. It's actually putting it down. It feels like there's a little ice in that. Good Lord. Y'all tell me if the angle's off. Let's see. Grandma said hi, Daniel. Hi, Thomas. Matthew said, Matthew, hello, my friends. Buggy said, Lotus, want us to trade? Carlos said, Lotus up. Grandma said, hi, Matthew. Robert said, wow. Matthew said, hello, my friends. Dearma said, beautiful America, emotional. Robert said, where is Randy Jr.? He's at home with his wife and kids. Lotus said, stuck at the shop tonight? Yeah, I'll be here. Hugh said, whoop, whoop, snowman. Hughes always said time. I thought about putting the thing on the four-wheeler and going live and riding on the four-wheeler up and down, but I was hoping the snow would slow down a little bit so it wouldn't freeze over the camera. Let's see. Buggy says, and I don't know if Pops is, and I don't know if Pops is. Let's see. Lotus said, what are we trading? Grandma says, we didn't get nowhere near that. Matthew said, hello, my friends. Lotus said, I just read that. Oh, no, you asked it twice, or it just came through twice. Yes, Lotus. Buggy says, I want a vanilla ice cream and an R32 Skyline. Robert said, when you put your helmet on. What I done, I was going to wear it. I put this on so I can put the camera on top of it. And I was going to ride I've got another piece like this because I got this one glued on a magnet. I got that idea from Daryl. But I got to find this other piece. I got another one laying around here, and it clips on here, and then I can ride and have the camera on top of my head. Let's see. Lotus said, sure, I'll get you an ice cream. Bring it on up. Hugh said, yeah, we didn't get nowhere near that. I see the white spot on the car, or it could be a glare. It's about that deep on top of the truck out there. Dearman said, I will hike through the deep woods, live during the storm up the mountain. If y'all will watch later, I am real sleepy in it. I'm really going to, okay, cool. Boggy said, it's packed. It's got a few vinyl cherry pads along its side. Off top, said, oh, fuck yeah. Robert said, do you have a motorcycle? 2 of them. Lotus says, vinyl comes off. Off topic says, sure, law, I knew it. Gun says, yo, are you always at work? Always. Marlon says, like done, thank you. We are showing 11 people in there, 34 thumbs up, thank y'all. Off topic says, hot cocoa. I thought about making another cup of coffee. But I think Randy does have some cocoa up there. I wouldn't mind trying to get me some of it. Boggy said, I think it looks cool. It came off Nagavister. I don't know what that is. Marlon's waving. Hello. Watching from the Philippines. Yes, I click on you quite often when you're doing your lives. I always give you a thumbs up. Robert said, do you have a leather jacket? I do. I've got a leather jacket with the American flag on the back of it and down the sleeve. Boggy says, I like the black too. Hugh said, it's not work when you love it. That's right. Work's not work when you're having fun. Lotus said, sweet, man. Grandma said, hi, Marlo. Marlon Vlog says, hi, Grandma, and thank you, host. Off topic says, game over. Boggy says, you want it before the rat decides to illegally drive it. Lotus says, throw it on the trailer and drive it on up here. Robert says, wear your leather jacket at the house. Carlos says, yeah, know how I like my women, don't you? Boggy said, I got you, just don't tell Olivia. Off topic said, the rat? What we got? 15 people, 35 thumbs up. Boggy says, how you like your coffee? Off topic said, wow, look who can't spell now. Lotus says, I want to illegally drive it first. Robert said, someday we can go on a motorcycle ride. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to get me another one, though. I want one. We got a 2014 CVO Ultra Limited Classic. And I'd like to have one about like that, but with the lower bags. And I don't want the huge front wheel, but I want a bigger front wheel. I like that stance where it's kind of low. I want it on air. But I don't know. I got way too much going on that we're trying to worry about riding. I would like to get one to go see my son up in South Dakota during the bike rally. I'd like to go. I've never been to Sturgis, and now he lives right there, so I'd like to go see him and see that bike rally. They say that's a huge bike rally. Buggy says, I have an excuse. My finger is still in a cast. Robert said, do you have an extra leather jacket? Nope. Off topic says, how do you ride a motorcycle? What do you mean, how do I ride a motorcycle? I give her hell. Carla said, sup, Buggy? Yep, Buggy, sup? I don't understand I don't understand the question off topic. What do you mean, how do you ride a motorcycle? Robert says, can we go to a motorcycle rally week together? We'll see. Lotus said, what's up, Carlo? Off topic said, what's up, big boys? Whoop whoop. Carlo said, what's up, Lotus? Off topic says, like, how do you ride the motorcycle? Like how? Throw my leg over it, give it gas, and drop the clutch and give her hell. Robert said, we off work today? Yeah, I don't work on the weekends. Carlos said, sup, off topic. Buggy said, Lotus, I'm trying to get the title translated. Lotus said, Buggy, how long will it take to get my skyline? D. Herman says, I'm hiking out live onto the wilderness snowstorm at 8 p.m. No tent. That's not good. Off topic says, off topic, blah, 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 ha, ha. Robert said, wear your work jacket. Got there? Off topic, showing number one. Letter said, oh boy. Oh boy. Buggy says, about as fast as it drives. Robert says, wear my work jacket. Where'd you put it? Off topic says, you ever try sour cream in spaghetti? Nope. Letter said, is it blowing up? Blowing everywhere. Let's see. Off topic says, you ever put eggs in your Roman? No. Carlos said, off topic. Sorry, bad man. My bad. Robert said, what time we leave for work on Monday morning? I have no idea. Bug said, yeah, it's a mess, and no, it's perfectly healthy. Lotus said, Randy, fire up the car or do a snow burnout. I ought to, but I'd have to move that truck, or I'd have to put the. I'm working on the exhaust on mine, so I can't pull it out. Off topic says, how are we doing, big boys? Where are you from? You know, I ought to do that. I ought to get the old Camaro out and go for a spin. No, well, I'd be by myself if I got stuck up. I wouldn't be able to get it out, so I better not get out there. If Randy was here, it'd be different. Off topic, so how we doing, big boys? Where are you from? He's from Australia. Eggs in Roman is so good, man. The Herman says it will be 4 degrees here sleeping outside. That's crazy. Lotus says, I want to make sure I get my money's worth for that ice cream. Robert said, look at the work schedule. Snow on the ground is going to be totally different, man. Lotus said, tempting, ain't it? It is tempting. I really would like to get it out. Like I said, if Randy was here, it'd be different, because if we got it in the ditch, we could use the truck or something to get it out, or the tractor, but me being here by myself, I better not. Carlos said, I'm from Australia. Off topic. Hugh said a little bit of bleach and blue smoke, should melt the rubber. Yeah. Off topic said doing donuts is the best idea. Lotus says, Lowell, you're getting stuck 5 foot out the door, and you're probably right. It'd be pushing up on the nose, I guarantee it. Boggy said, really, we're taking care of a little bit of rust and some paint scratches. She just a little on the older side, but National Treasure's worth from Japan, yes. Off topic said, Rock Provence prevents big boys. Lotus said, Black Betty be good in the stove. It would. I wished it was running better. If it was, we would definitely bring it out. Randy would have a fit if I brought Black Betty out in this mess and he wasn't here. He had a fit when I was out there playing around in Marketplace Warrior. Robert said, what we do at work on Monday morning, we're going to be cleaning these switches out. All this snow off the damn railroad so the train can go. Carlos said, Western Australia. Lotus said, what is the ticket on that? What was the ticket on that? Hugh said, if I could at least get a full coating, I could get some e-brake swinging around, not really the nuts, not rear-wheel drive, but could pretend. You ever see them take those front-wheel drives and roll the back wheels up on those lunch plates like they used to have at school, and then it just pull the emergency brake and then you go sliding around? I've never done it, but I watched it at the track one day. I'd like to try it. Hugh's laughing. Rumple said, hello, Pops. Hello, Rumple. Rumple said, hello, Hugh. Carlos said, Rumple. Rumple said, big boys. Off topic said, oh, nice. Tame Impala. And big. Let's show our from. Lotus said, Vivo Donuts. Yeah. I don't have it plugged. I did find out where the plug-in was. I plugged it in and it fired up good Friday. Before I fire it back up, I'll plug it in for a couple hours before it's in this mess. Rumple said, Lotus, hello. Hugh said, hello, Rumple. How are you, sir? Rumple says, where I sit in your truck, you pick me up. Probably in the back Monday because it's snowing and I really like all the heat. I'm stingy with my heat. Oh, you said that question to me, Lotus? Question mark. Hugh said, Vivo Donuts. Lotus, what's up, Rump? Yes, Buggy. Rumble said, Hugh doing awesome. Buggy said, I don't know everything. It has WQS in the foreign language. It didn't give a proper import. Hugh said, awesome, brother. Starting to feel better here. Slow but surely. Off topic says, how are you, Grand Pedovic? Lotus said, how much was the car? It is what I was asking. Rumble said, Tame Impala, aren't they an Aussie group? I think I've heard a few songs, kind of something inspired. I have no idea. Rob says, where you pick me up for work? I'm not going to be able to come down the driveway. You're going to have to be standing at the mailbox. Lotus says, you go fix your harness. Man, 14 people, 36 thumbs up. I thought it'd be more people in here tonight with all the snow out there. Let's see. Boggy said, oh, it was a solid 12K used with about 70,000 kilometers. Off topic said, yes, Tame Impala is from Western Australia. My uncle lives in Western Australia. Robert said, okay. Robert said, your work jacket is yellow. Yes. Yours is pink. Lotus said, not bad. What's wrong with it? Rumble said, off topic. Oh, cool. I've definitely heard of them. Pretty good. Pretty good. I got a pair of boots at the house just like these I got on, but evidently these aren't insulated because my feet stay cold. I don't ever remember my feet being cold in these Carolina boots like this. Robert says, can I see your truck? The other guy's got it right now. Hugh said, yeah, snowed in everyone except us is snuggling watching Disney movies. Not us, we're car people. That's right. Lotus said, need some heated socks. Yeah, that would be cool. Foggy said, nothing, nothing. Man, see, could some rust care a touch up? It was the import that was expensive. Robert said, what kind of work boots you have? Carolina. Carlos says, cool, off topic. It's freaking hot here today. Lotus said, is it a GTR? Dear Irma says, have you reconsidered the adult diapers? Nope. I'm not going. If I have to wear them when I get older, it may be a have to, but I'm not going to wear them unless I have to. Robert said, your phone go off? Yes, Beth commented on something, and that told me she commented. Boggy says, I don't know, I'm trying to figure that out. Patrick said, where the beef? I had old Salisbury steak. I didn't eat it. I didn't eat the apples. I don't like the apples, so I let Kane have them. Robert said, how we know where we need us to work? We know where we got to clean switches. We will call in and find out where everybody's going and where we need to go. Well, I'm supposed to be on the south end Monday, but I don't know that they'll do what they got to do because of snow. Olivia said, you're not selling my car. Well, here goes another one. Lotus said, hope it's a good one. There was a non-turbo base model. Hughes said, I wear Timberlands cause Goodyear pays for them. If I paid for them, they'd be Brahmas from Walmart. I order mine offline and they pay, I think it's $115 or $118 towards them. I usually have to pay 10 or 15 bucks. Robert said, you have 2 chairs in your office? Yep. Robert said, it's got a turbo, but Boggy said, it's got a turbo, but it isn't a stock turbo. You said 2 chairs and a couch. Couch is for Kane, his Great Dane Kane. Let me translate this. It's not going to let me translate it. Sorry. I am from Tito, I don't know what that is, but welcome. How you doing? I cannot translate your name. I'm sorry. I tried. Boggy said, I don't think it's a stock turbo anyways. Robert said, can I sit in the chair in your office? Yes, you sure can. 14 people, 38 thumbs up. Robert said, get my chair ready. All right. Olivia said, it's a GTR. Daryl said, Ghostly. Herman said, I can start a fire with sticks, but it takes a lot of energy, really. I won't have a fire raw dog in the cold. Oh, man. Daryl says, oh, hey, I'm back. Hello, Daryl. I don't know your name there, but glory to great America. Right back at you. Thank you. Robert said, my chair is with the yellow jacket. Yep. Olivia says, and you hush, you don't know a thing about foreign cars. Olivia said, hey, Daryl. Carlos said, cool, how much will it be to ship my GTR to Australia, Boggy and the WRX STI? Robert said, move my chair next to you. It is next to me. It's just right there. Look at there. Look at there. Oh, about ready for a nap. D. Herman said, I'm using Starlink internet. No outages during the first big snow. Impressed. Cool. It's taken a long time for our videos to upload. Matter of fact, I ain't even made a video for today. Larry said, me too. Nap time. I don't even know if I even mess with the videos. I may do a short one. I don't know. Boggy says, number A, I know more about cars than you do women. And letter 2, I don't think that turbo is stopped. Boggy said, too much, Carlo. Robert said, I like your helmet. Put it on with your jacket on. No, I ain't putting it on. Carlo said, okay, Boggy. B Edit said, hey, hello. My chair keeps going down. I do not like that. D. Armour said, 2 MG benzo makes sleep such a pleasure. Grandma said, hey Patrick, hi Olivia. My friend said, do you guys get much snow? We got quite a bit. Carlos says, I take Advin. Grandma says, hi, B. Robert says, call Randy Jr. Robert. I'm not going to call him. Olivia said, just because you know more about how a car does go doesn't mean you know it was produced, caca head. Olivia said, hey, man. D. Urban said, yeah, okay. Randy said, hey, Robert. Carlos says, I take benzos for anxiety. Olivia said, and no one is getting my Subaru. Chris says, doctors won't prescribe me benzos. 19 people, 39 thumbs up. D. Herman said, mine is for anxiety too, but the 2 milligrams at night converts to 20, covers me for 24 hours. My friend, you still in here? If you want to see the snow, I'll walk you out there and let you see the snow. We're kind of called up. Carlos said, cool, D. Herman. D. Herman said, I'll pay for the private doctor. Chris said, serve GAD but no benzos for me. Carlos said, yes, that name is a patent benzo of some type, I guess. Boggy says, have you can't even reach the counter to reach the knife, kid. Jane said, my kids are brats. Daughter called, will I go let dogs out? It's 12 degrees. Guess who just got back from letting the dogs out? Well, we know who let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Oof, oof, oof. Jane did. Buggy said, dwarf. Uh-oh. Nope, I just lost it for a minute. Yep, everybody stopped all at once, didn't they? Or the snow might have picked up. Lotus said he traded your Skyline for the vanilla ice cream. Olivia says you left your brownie on the coffee table. Speaking of which, pay the hell attention. You have kids. The Herman says I have zero desire to put up my dose. I have quite easily survived several times. The addiction affected luckily doesn't affect me, but indeed it should be taken carefully. John Deere said hit the like button, guys, please. Yeah, somebody done took theirs back. It was 39. It's 38 now. Alex says, I am for sure winning the giveaway. Can I see my future AC unit? It's sitting out there. Carlos said, me too, Crisp. I have served severe GAD as well, but I'm stable at the moment. Used to have anxiety attacks that lasted 8 hours at a time. Chris says, where we're hailing from tonight, folks. Olivia said, Lotus, I have Boggy's knife. I'll get you two. Chris says, yeah, big boys, it sucks. Lotus says, oh, ho. Jane said, hi, Alex, who needs AC? Grandma said, hi, Chris. Reed said, hey, man, hello, Reed. Captain Bad Bill said, good evening. Hello, Captain Bad Bill. Jane said, Chris, oh, ho. Chris said, waving. And you know, we're in Denton, North Carolina. Carlos says, I'm from Western Australia. Reed said, it's snowing here. It's snowing here too. Chris said, howdy from South Carolina. Crisps said, howdy from South Carolina. Dearman said, 40 people with depression and no anxiety. That's when benzo becomes addictive usually. Lotus said, that knife won't make it through the fat. Jane said, Chris, you're getting snow? Olivia says, oh, wanna bet? Chris says 3.5 inches so far. Let's see. Tell you what. Oh. It may be too dark, but let's see if we can see. Let's see if we can see how much we got. It's still going like crazy. Let's see what we got here. That's showing right at a foot right there. I know that is blowed up a little bit. It ain't that far. Let's go right here on the back of the truck. That's showing, that's a foot. That's showing 10 inches right there on the back of the truck. Lord, it is deep. Good Lord. Let me get back inside. I can't see out here. I thought it'd be easier to see. I guess the sun's done gone in. Whew. Let's see. Grandma said hi, Reed. Olivia said, it's a Western bow tie. Ask Annie, her husband made it. John Deere said hi. Olivia said, oh wait, I forgot Pops don't like Annie. I didn't say that. Carlos says, I've been on the same dose for many years. Luckily, I'm not addicted. Jane said, Lord, Olivia, he doesn't like damn Yankees. D. Herman said, we can see good. Okay. Roscoe said, oh, no. Fuck no. Reed said, nice. Grandma said, hi, Roscoe. Chris said, good God, son, that's a lot of snow for North Kakalaki. It is. I ain't seen that much snow since, I think, like 1989, and it's still snowing. Let's see. Grandma said, wow, that's a lot. Dearman said, add the 1.5 of ice under that. Yeah, because all I'm doing is pushing it down. Chris said, Kill Devil Hills is supposed to get it hammered. Hugh said, right. Matthew said, Matthew, so 6 swallows. Grandma said, Pops, you're planning to stay there all night? Yes, I'll hunker down right here. John Deere said, hi. Reed said, keep that head warm. Oh, yeah. Jane said, Pops, you need Mac's hat. Dang, they're warm. Yeah. Lotus says, are you in Ohio, Randy? No. Levy said, ha ha. Matthew said, Matthew Snow. Annie said, I heard my name. I heard that, yeah. Somebody brought your name up, trying to put words in my mouth again. Carlos said, how many inches you got, Lotus? Lotus said, hey, Annie. You said snow north, east, west, and dang, all out of Florida, but not here. Low-lying area with higher pressure splits it around us. Normally the mountains block it from us, but this come in a different way, I believe. Hugh said, Annie. Hugh said, I said it too. Jane said, Pops, you got food for you and Kane for a few days? Oh, yeah. I got Salisbury steak, frozen dinners. I'm good. I can fire up the grill. I got some bacon. I got a couple hamburgers I can cook. James, Lotus said 13 inches, I think it was. D. Herman said Outer Banks it gets messed up bad at least once a year. This is that once. And he says, were they true words? And he says, yo, guys. Chris said, I was born in Phantom. Are you in the east or? Lotus said, and a inch to the dusting tonight. Hugh said, King will be food after 3 days. Kane will be food after 3 days. He's got a grill. That's right. No. Olivia said, yes, they were all true words. My friend says we didn't get much here in Raleigh. Oh, really? Grandma said, hi, Annie. Olivia said he was talking about us, darn Yankees. Grandma said, hi, my friend. Joe said, I bet you're good in bed. I sleep just fine. You said, got a cane too if the snow stays. Jane said, hi, Annie. My friend says, hello, Grandma. Grandma says, I'm a Yankee too. Don't feed into what they say, Grandma. They trying to make me out to be a real bad person. Carlos said, a lot of snow, Lotus. I told a joke and they just won't let it go. You said, I'm just kidding. Let him know gnaw on your leg. And he said, Pop still hates me. Yeah, I thought we got to an agreement that I was the most likable. I did too. I don't know why y'all keep changing it. Lotus said he has 2 or 3 4-wheel drive trucks there. He'd be okay. That's right. And a 4-wheeler and a tractor. I'll get somewhere. D. Herman said, my wife has short legs, so our toilets have to be short. I'm 6'4", it's awkward. Best thing to do is get a taller toilet, just get a footstool. Chris said, Fayetteville, Cumberland County. Hugh said, Annie is a Southern Yankee, lol. Hugh said, go outside, it's perfect. Grandma said, but you're not. I know I'm not. I'm a good guy. Lotus said, I'm a Yankee for sure. Grandma said, you're an amazing person. Tell Annie. Hugh said, same here, Chris. JH says, hi. Hello, JH. Chris says, I'm half Yankee. Pop was from Western Pennsylvania. Grandma said, hi, Jake. You said, brag here as well, Fayetteville. Lotus said, every time I say crash bar, he hates me. And he says, then why do you hate me? I don't want to go back to the northern lands. I don't hate you. I just told a joke. What is it about you females coming in here tonight just with a chip on your shoulder? I don't hate you. I think you're a good person for somebody I've never met. Hugh said, hello, JH. Chris says, howdy, Grand. And he says, crash bar. Oh, that thing that on the front of his truck. The Herman said, I'm getting dressed now for camping. Bag is packed, no tent. Jane said, hi, JH. Grandma said, Annie, don't pick on Pops. You tell him, Grandma, I'm so mad I can't. You said she's a Southern Yankee, born again. Grandma said, Lowell, Space Ghost says, make it clap. Jane says, Herman, you gonna freeze? Annie says, I don't pick on anyone. Lotus says, no, on the front of his Camaro. John Deere said, hi. Chris says, I used to call my dad a damn Yankee when I could finally outrun him. And he said, save for my idiot of a cousin. Mimi Meme says, what's up, Thug? Hello, how you doing? And he says, I'm still pissed about my 16th birthday. You said, we love you, Annie, dang Yankee. Just kidding. DeHerman said, grow that beard out and the women will be much nicer. Trust me. If I got to change me for somebody to be nice to me, I'll be just the way I am. This makes me happy, and that's all I'm worried about now. Grandma says, hi, Meme. Hugh says, we're playing. Jane said, hit the like button, peeps. Grandma said, how old are you, Annie? Boggy said, but Annie, you have to admit, it was funny as hell. I thought it was. I just told a joke. She took it personally. Jane said, Grandma, Annie's a baby. Annie said, 26. You mean tell me you're upset about a birthday 10 years ago? Good law, let it go. Hugh said, have you had a 16th birthday? It didn't mean get a happy 21st birthday till 2 weeks later. Crushing. John Deere said, you do you, Randy. I do. That's what I worry about me now. Burnett said, what do you mean hit my lucky button and broke it? I'd like to see these lucky things. Please hit my lucky button. Lotus said, what was the joke? The difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee. D. Herman said, damn, its short beard was almost twins except for your infrabeard. Grandma says, let it go, hun, for real. Chris said, I wasn't here for the joke, but it was, what was the difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee? A Yankee comes down here and goes back. A damn Yankee comes down here and stays. And I said that, and Annie got her pennies in a wad. Annie says, yeah, and I'm not. I don't know what she's trying to say, and I'm not letting go if the fact that I had cake smashed in my face. I had. Oh, I don't know. Oh, get along. Just let it. That's fine. It was all in fun and games. Lotus said, "What's the difference? A Yankee comes down here and leaves. A damn Yankee comes down here and stays." Jane said, "Herman, you got a few inches on Pops. I think Pops is shorter than all three sons." Yeah, I'm pretty. Let's see. I think Randy is a half an inch shorter than me. Let's see. And he says, apparently I'm a damn Yankee. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. You said my 21st best all-time birthday never happened. My sister remembered 2 weeks late. My mom even forgot. That's the worst. Is my brother and I have the same birthday 8 years apart. Ooh. Dearman said, from the neck up, Jane. Grandma said, then I'm a damn Yankee. Chris said, blah. It's true, though. Hugh said, cake smash. Grandma said, because I came down here and never went back. Ozzy said, Gotti Bill Joe, where the Billy Bill with his Billy Bucks filled with Billy beer, waiting on y'all to come fix my vortex generator on the F-25. Chris is laughing. Lotus says, cake face. Grandma said, hi, Ozzy. Hugh said, Grandma never left. Damn Yankee. Lewis says, hello, Lewis. Whoop, I'm way behind. Y'all got the, let's see. Lewis says, hello, my brother and everyone. Hugh says, Lowell. Jane says, hey, hi, Lewis. Hugh says, hey, hello, Lewis. Grandma says, I laughed my ass off. Annie said, Nicholas, keep your shit up. And the first thing that's going to happen again is the mousetrap everywhere again. Let's see. Daryl says, I'm a Bucky Billy, born in Ohio, moved to Florida, then Tennessee, then back to Ohio, planning to move to North Carolina. Grandma said, hi, Lewis. Hugh says, North Carolina is full. Lewis said, hello, Jane. Lotus says, was it Boggy that gave you the cake face? John Deere said, hit the like button, guy, please. Boggy said, what did I do? All I said was it was funny. Hugh said, roll on the ground, laugh my ass off. Just kidding. Nicholas is waving. Daryl said, gee, thanks, Hugh. It ain't full. There's plenty of room. Box fan said, what's up, gang, wanna bang, bang? Jane said, I'm a hillbilly at heart. I like to kick the tars and check the O's. Oh. Nicholas says, how are you? I'm doing great. Hope you are. Nicholas is waving at Jane. Grandma said, hi, Nicholas. Jane said, hi, Nicholas. Off topic says, SpongeBob SquarePants. Ozzy said, how did you get on the back wall of the Big Buck Billy's? Become a member. You become a member and we put your name on the wall and out at the street. Hugh said, just kidding, Daryl. Nicholas said, Grandma. CSX said, hey, Chris. Chris said, South Carolina is full to the brim. I can't tell if I'm in Ohio, Philadelphia, or South Carolina at this point. Grandma said, hi, CSX. The Herman said, I have a spare generator. If anyone loses power, they can hook up as sled dog and come borrow it. Boggy says, yeah, it was Lotus. I had to make sure that it covered every inch of her face so that she would have to spend about a week cleaning it out. Off topic said, Geneva. Hugh said, roll on the floor, laugh my ass off. Be right there, Herman. John Deere said, butternuts. Carlos said, Lotus, I'm wondering if Demetri is going live tonight. Nicholas said, Hugh. Annie said, I still wake up with that disgusting feeling shit head. Hugh said, hello, Nicholas. Jane said, Lord, Annie, you birthed two babies and cake in the face is disgusting feeling. Jane said, Boggy says, and yet I'm apparently still your favorite person. Off topic says, hello, Nicholas. You says, hey, the road is all white, all out white. Wait, the wind blew it off. Never mind. Nicholas says, oh, good, buddy. I'm paying utilities. Lotus said, so the real question is he intended to is he invited to this year's birthday party? Dermot said, good crowd tonight. Annie said, yes, Lotus. Nicholas said, off topic, waving. Lotus said, probably Carlo. Off topic says, hello, D. Herman. Lotus says, Boggy, you know what you gotta do? Off topic says, hello, Lotus. Carlos says, cool, Lotus. Annie says, and it's still true, Nick. You are the most favorite person in the family. Then you ought to do it again, Boggy. Nelson said, hey, hello, Nelson. Daryl says, gotta put up a members video after a while. Off Topic said, hey Randy. Hello, Off Topic. Daryl said, Nelson, we got 20 people in here and 47 thumbs up. It's just about 8 o'clock. I was hoping to get to 50. Daryl said, Nelson. Lotus said, hello, Off Topic. D. Herman says, hey, Off Topic, get my notification. I'm live snowstorm hiking up the mountain tonight. Grandma said, hi, Nelson. Nelson said, heading to Atlanta. Jane said, hey, Nelson. Nelson said, hey, Daryl. Carlos said, what's up, Nelson? You be careful out there driving. You said, hello, Nelson. Nelson said, hi, Grandma. Jane said, D. Herman, you're kidding, right? Off Topic said, yeah, if you haven't liked the video, then I'm going to scream and shout. Scream and shout. Come on, come on, come on, baby. Now, share it up, baby. Boggy said, did you call me Nick? No, you said Nick. I'm offended now. Nelson said, hey, you. Boggy said, not really, though. I ain't a woman. D. Irma said, no kidding. I'll be honored if you watch Jane. Olivia said, excuse me. You're excused. Lotus said, Buggy Cake Face 2026. Nelson said, hi, Olivia. Annie said, excuse you. Jane said, what time are you hiking, Herman? Nelson said, hi, Jane. Annie said, Nicholas. Nelson said, hi, Annie. Matthew Stump said, hello, my friends. Hey, I challenge, can you make a 20? Hell yeah. Dearman said, 10 minutes after this live. Lotus said, thank you. I'm excused of all wrongdoing. John Deere said, bye-bye. Good night, everybody. Jane said, Nelson, you aren't going to any weather, are you? Off Topic says, has anyone ever been as far as decide what to go more look like? No. Let's see. Annie, Nelson said, hey, Matthew. Olivia said, no, Annie, it's like this, Nicholas. Grandma said, good night, everyone. God bless you all, your families. Off Topic said, Matthew. Matthew said, see you, Grandma. Let's see. Let's see. We got, Matthew said, command 20 people. Hell yeah. Daryl said, Nelson, Atlanta got slammed with snow today. Nelson said, I don't know. Jane said, take care, Grandma. Dearman said, leave. Hugh said, have an awesome night and please be safe, everyone. Keep warm. Boggy said, I don't listen to dwarves who say my full government name. Grandma said, Pops, thank you for your live and stay warm, safe. God bless you and your family. You too, Grandma. Off Topic said, beef sounds so good. Salt, pepper, and cheese. Lotus said, good night and picking with Annie. Yes, I'll just picking with Annie. Jane said, take care, everyone. Be safe. Errol said, peace. Y'all have a good day, good night whenever you're watching this, and I do appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow, and keep it silly. Thank you.